morning, everybody. Laura here from Hedgehog's Homestead. Getting some food for our animals and making sure that Mrs. Pigglesworth has some extra, just a little bit extra. Not enough to make her fat. During this time, we don't want our pig to overeat, but we don't want her to undereat either. She's finally kind of confirmed pregnancy, not by a test, but by a heat check. She has been, she's well past, or this is 2 days past where she should be in heat. And so we confirmed it the other day that she's pregnant. And so instead of, a pig her size should get about 2 pounds a day, 2 to 3 pounds. So we're giving her on the 3 pound side of food. And of course we got our little rogue chicken over here. I need to put some more water in this for the chickens. Move this over. We have a really loose base of fermenting food here on the homestead. What I do is we do ferment it, but we just keep on adding to the same bucket. We leave some of the fermented water in there and it speeds up the process of ferment. We do it because we have some whole grains in there and that helps the chickens break down those whole grains. And it also helps them process the food better. So that's why we do it. So let's get to work. We moved the chickens yesterday just a little bit closer to the chicken coop, which I'm gonna have to put them in. So now since we have meat birds, we're gonna have to put them in there for the 8 weeks that we have the meat birds. Now, because Cornish cross get to weight in 8 weeks. That's the nice thing about the Cornish cross. And the meat is more like your market bird that you would find in the store. Okay. Of course, these guys are starving. Please excuse the wind. There's nothing I can do about it. We live on... Ooh, it is quite windy. Okay, I'm gonna go get them some water. I'll be right back. You guys can keep an eye on them for me. if you need your eggs early in the morning, feed them super early in the morning. If you feed them late, you're gonna get eggs late. And I always think that it's a good practice to feed them as early as possible. I feed them before we eat. I used to wait until after I ate because I would eat as soon as I wake up, but I don't do that anymore. Being on this carnivore diet, I'm not hungry first thing, or I don't feel famished first thing in the morning anymore. So, here's Mrs. Pregnant Pigglesworth. Hey. Hey, girl. Okay, I gotta test your fence real quick, baby girl. It's hot. Okay. Good girl. Fence is nice and hot. You gotta get down. You know how it works. Hey, easy on the gate. Easy. Get in. Yep, there she goes. Great. I'm gonna have to turn off the fence a minute because look what happened to my camera. So I'm gonna have to turn it off just so I can get that out. So we'll finish feeding her. And fix that real quick. The hazard of filming on the homestead in the wind. That is a metal stand. I do not want to touch it with the fence on over 900 volts. It'd give me a heart attack. Okay. Good. Not touching the fence. Got to turn it back on. So she has plenty of water. I don't need to worry about that. Fence is back on. She is doing a really good job rooting this area. In fact, I had to come through yesterday and she was grounding out the fence over here. Right there. And when the mud is really wet, this clay, what happens is that it will stick to your fence and ground out your fence. So yesterday when I came out, the top of the fence was hot, but the bottom was barely registering. So that's how I know I need to go down the line and check that fence. So let me see if we got any more in here for you. We do. So what I usually do when I have a little bit left like that, I go and get some water and just rinse it out. And she'll just drink up the water with the food in it. There she goes. There you go, Mrs. Pigglesworth. And I always pet my animals when they're eating, when they're very young. I start that way so they don't get food aggressive with me. Just to kind of test them when they're young and do that kind of stuff when they're young, just like you would with a dog. And when they were babies, I would just go and get like a stool and sit in their pen with them. And now when she's not in heat, when she is in heat, she's a little cuckoo bird. But when she's in, so that kind of tells me that I'm gonna have to be really careful when she is giving birth to these babies and around her piglets, because there's going to be a lot of hormones around that time. And if she's a little bit cuckoo bird around that time where she's in heat, I expect that she will have a reaction when she's giving birth or around those babies. So we're going to have to be very careful. Now, one of the nice things about having a tractor like this is that, I'll show you. This is our pork slider, aka pig tractor. One of the nice things about having that, and I need to neuter her little ones, I can take them away, neuter them, and she can stay in there, and I'm safe and she's safe. So you want to have some way that you can protect yourself from the mother when you take her piglets away to neuter the males, because you want to neuter the males because some people can taste like a urine smell in their meat if you don't neuter them. So we want to make sure that we neuter our males. And my brother-in-law has done that before, so I think we'll do it together. So we'll get it done. Now we're gonna go over to the baby chicks. Okay, here's our babies. Super thirsty. Oh. There was 2 birds under there. Okay, well that was a shame. We lost 2 birds. What happened is when I was putting down the water last night, they got under the water. I didn't realize that they were there. That water is kind of heavy. So really it's my fault. That's the one thing when you have ducks, if you can put them in a different place than the rest of your chickens. We don't have that spot right now. I try to cordon them off and give them separate water, but the problem is that they were just getting over anyways because the ducks use so much water that because they're foul, they need to clean their beaks and stuff even at this age. So I'm gonna get the other food over. I've taken care of the 2 chicks that are gone. And unfortunately that happens. Now, I like to do 2 stations for food because then and 2 stations for water because then it's spread out a little more. Otherwise, everybody was doing fine, so it's too bad. Those were healthy chickens. There was nothing wrong with them. The Cornish cross are starting to get their feathers. They're eating really well. So it looks like things are going well. Those were 2 healthy Cornish cross, so I feel bad for them. We certainly don't raise animals for that kind of stuff to happen. But where there's livestock, there's dead stock, unfortunately. So, I gotta feed this cat over here. We'll see you guys next time. I'm bummed out. That's really sad. It happens to everybody, though. They were healthy birds. I made the mistake. So this one's on me. When that happens, when there was something I could do to prevent it, I feel like bad. I feel really bad. It's just, that's just the way it is. It's not an easy lifestyle choice, but it's a fact of life. And so, unfortunately, it happened. It probably will never happen again. That's the first time I've ever had that happen. Those little birds were just getting under the water, and I was scooting them out of the way, scooting them out of the way, scooting them out of the way when I was trying to get the water in there, and 2 ended up under there anyways. I didn't see them go under, unfortunately. So, life lesson learned. We'll see you guys next time here on Hedgehog's Homestead. Bye.